That doesn't look good. That also doesn't look good. The ceiling looks ordinary except for some fixtures that look like sprinklers. Sprinklers. Robots. Are they waterproof? We need a fire. While receiving an ice hose near yourself, the basket fire is extinguished. Seconds later, a loud series of pops is followed by the smell of fried electronics. Nice! The sprinklers sense accomplishment and cease operation. Don't get up, don't mind me. You have just entered Vohauls' secret chamber. The evil one himself is seated before a large console, high on a platform, in the center of the room. Standing obliviously ready are many of the dreaded salesman's clones. So, sweet cheeks, we meet again. I must say I'm quite impressed with your resourcefulness and tenacity. I'd love to chat, but I'm busy preparing the last of my salesman clones for their trip to Xenon. You know, feel free to stick around and observe the downfall of your civilization. Ha, ha, ha. An eerie glow illuminates the large chamber. Through the massive window you can see out into deep space. Lighted consoles adorn the area behind Vol's perch. Vol awaits at the top of the stairway. These guys are your worst nightmare come true. Imagine hundreds of John Davidsons in magnetically hazardous polyester suits. The color alone capable of rendering helpless the infirm. Topped with permabond hair, the face is splashed with that let me win you over smile. He's a master guildsmith, programmed with one intent: sell, sell, sell. Each are encased in pre-programmed impervious transport capsules. Going somewhere? As soon as you step on the platform, you're struck by a beam of light emanating from the unit ceiling. In a matter of seconds, you're broken down into microparticles and extracted from the air. Again, the beam strikes, this time blasting into a glass jar in the console. It is there that you are reconstructed into a miniaturized form. Well, I'll be darned. My miniaturization beam does work. In the old days, I test these on myself. But as you may have noticed by my appearance, being my own guinea pig has had its disadvantages. I guess this will keep you out of my way once and for all. You'll make a nice conversation piece. With that he turns away and finishes putting on the touches of fate. You're trapped in a glass jar. That's okay because I have the newly cut pane of glass falls out to the counter. Got fed up with your meddling. You've been redesigned once again. You're on the surface of a console. A large, compared to you, jar sits in the middle. A hole has been cut. There are some vents near the back. As you turn your attention to the vent, you notice it to be quite dark. You hear the rhythmic hum of some sort of mechanical device and something that sounds like industrial strength breathing. It might be coming from the vent. How small am I? You wiggle your slim carcass through the vent. Judging from those two hoses coming in from outside, you guess that this is the inner workings of Vohauls' life support system. A respirator pumps oxygen into his lungs, while a pump on the back wall forces blood through filters. There's also a sign on the back wall. Caution. And a button. Way to go, sweet cheeks. You've just disconnected Vohauls' life support system. He's a goner without it. You can see Vohauls struggling to take his last few breaths. Not you again. You think you have won, but all you have done is to seal your own fate. He reaches up and flips a switch on the far end of the console before dropping to the floor dead. That's probably not a good thing. Reduce or enlarge. You're once again reconstituted, this time to the correct size. You notice that the clones are gone. Oops. An examination of his repulsively turgid fabric-encased mass reveals nothing other than the tubes which supplied him with blood and oxygen. You do notice the letters SHSR written in pen on the back of his left hand. That sounds like a password to me. You see a screen with some text on it. Okay, let's look at screen. Terminal countdown. Oh, let's enter that code, which was SHSR. Aborted granted. Woohoo, nice. Now, let's see. Oh, yes. Found one more way to snatch humiliation from the jaws of heroism. The box is actually an oxygen mask receptacle. It is currently closed. Open the box, please. You open the box and notice an oxygen mask. You remove it and close the box. Put on mask, please. See if we can get out of here. Oh, these pesky angles. Oh, that can't be good. A section of the glass tubing is fractured from combined stress. The pressurized atmosphere rushes for the relative vacuum of space. Fortunately, wearing the mask protects you from suffocation. No longer needing the mask, you remove and stow it for later. Okay. Won't take time to admire the stars, just keep going along. Nothing to see here. Move along. Ed 209. "40 minutes until meltdown," a synthesized voice cheerfully announces. "Run away!" Brave Sir Robin ran away. The robot has apparently decided that it is permissible for you to be here since you are in the pod already. Haha. Upon entering the escape pod, you quickly take your seat. Look at pod. You're seated inside one of the emergency escape vehicles. Before you lies a control panel and a viewport. Look at panel. Only outstanding feature of the panel is clearly marked launch button. Press launch. Warning! Emergency escape vehicle launch sequence has begun. You're going to have to stop cutting these escapes so close. Well, you must feel pretty good right now. You stopped Vohauls from carrying out his threat of salesman infestation, ultimately destroying the twisted scientist himself. You also managed to save your own skin. And just look at that score. Pretty darned impressive. Well, I missed 10, but hey, that's not bad. Suddenly, a warning signal draws your attention to the oxygen meter on the front panel. It reads low and dropping fast. This is just great. You knew it was all too good to be true. You have maybe 5 minutes of air left. Well, it was nice knowing you. Nice knowing me too. Well, let's look at pod again. Now you take the time to view the interior of the pod in more detail. You see a sleep chamber against one wall. Oh, after all that, I could use a nap. Look at sleep chamber. The chamber is a bed of sorts enclosed in a large plexiglass cylinder. The occupant of such chamber would be placed in suspended animation and kept alive for an indefinite period of time. Open sleep chamber. Get in sleep chamber. There we go. You make the split-second decision to enter the sleep chamber. It seals automatically. Soon you're overcome by a pleasant drowsiness. This is certainly better than suffocating. You begin to drift into a deep sleep, with the satisfaction of having accomplished your task. You've come through in the clutch, and you deserve a nice long rest. Now, if someone just pick you up along the way. So long, sweet cheeks, and thanks again for saving your people. Success! And so concludes Space Quest 2, Vohauls' Revenge. For now.